How's it going, everyone? Makana here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, we are at the end of October, so happy Halloween. And second of all, Nintendo made a lot of bombshell announcements and moves during this month. And it may not be anything for Switch 2 stuff at all, like everyone was kind of hoping for. But the stuff that they have been announcing have been quite interesting lately. So I want to talk about those announcements and those moves to see where Nintendo could actually go with this in the near future. Let's talk about the first thing that they have announced around October 7th, October 8th, and you may actually see it behind me on my nightstand right now. Yep, Alarmo. The first thing that they've announced this month was an alarm clock of all things. So this alarm clock had a lot of interesting stuff going for it. You know, it's more than just an alarm clock with Nintendo music and sound effects. It actually has a motion sensor that detects movement, and the way it works is that when your alarm goes off, depending on what setting you put it in, either if it's in stealth or gentle, it basically will react to your movement as the alarm keeps going off. And so, you know, you could be rolling around in bed and, you know, the sounds could get lower and lower, or, you know, if you're in bed for a while, it can get louder at times. You know, I've been using this clock for pretty much a couple of weeks now, and it's quite interesting to see, you know, what it does and, you know, how I would react to certain alarm clocks. You know, I know we're in a world now where our phones is basically used as an alarm and whatnot, but, you know, it's quite interesting, and it's definitely, you know, Nintendo of them to make a product that's outside of video games. You know, they have their, you know, the toys, you know, the Ultra Hand and whatnot. The Nintendo Museum just opened up this month too, and so, you know, it's bringing back that weird side of Nintendo that I've actually been missing for quite some time. And, you know, I really like the clock. I just wish that, you know, they actually add a little bit more to it. You know, Nintendo's hoping to sell this to anyone who is a hopeless single like myself, or in most cases, sell this to kids, because, you know, I can see this being a fun product for kids. I just, you know, the $100 is definitely something, and, you know, purchasing it on the My Nintendo store, you need to have an NSO subscription available for it to purchase it. Or if you're in New York and go to Nintendo New York, you don't need to have a NSO subscription, but either way, you're gonna have to pay $100. So there's a lot to be desired, and I actually do plan on making a full-blown video after 1 month of this Alarmo being out, just to see, you know, if it would change anything of me using it or whatnot, because, you know, I've been using some of the themes, I've been using some different alarms and whatnot. So there's definitely some good, there's definitely some bad, but, you know, this is an interesting move that Nintendo decided to make. And, you know, not too long after Alarmo was announced and released, Nintendo also did something else: the Nintendo Switch Online Playtest Program. Now, this playtest program was them trying to test out a new feature, and they allowed people who had an active Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack membership to actually apply. Now, I tried applying for this, and it went pretty quick, and I didn't get accepted, so I didn't get to test out what this new feature could be and whatnot. But, you know, that playtest got leaked so heavily because people love to abide by NDAs, and, you know, it's already out there. You could probably search them up yourself. I'm not going to talk about it here because I actually want this video to stay up. But it's interesting what they're actually doing for the playtest program, something that they could probably implement in the future. Yeah, it's a new type of game genre that they're trying to get into, but I'm not going to say anything more about it. You can look it up for yourself. I want this video to stay up, actually, out of fear. So yeah, there's that. But one thing I can talk about, because they actually announced this a few days ago, is Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. This is one of the last few Wii U games that have not been ported to the Switch yet, but now it's being remastered on the Switch, and I actually really like it. Yeah, I really like the fact that Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming to the Switch, even though it's pretty far late in the game. But I haven't finished the original version of Xenoblade Chronicles X on Wii U, so the fact that it's coming to the Switch and actually adds a lot more content, including, which I think may be, resolving the cliffhanger ending that Xenoblade Chronicles X had. I never actually saw the ending. I just heard that it was just a cliffhanger, but the fact that it could resolve the cliffhanger is actually really good. So I'm really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X, and a lot of different people are really excited for it. And given that Xenoblade Chronicles X is now on the Switch, it just leads to how many more Wii U games that haven't been ported to the Switch yet. I'm definitely hoping that the two HD remastered Zelda games on Wii U could make their way at some point, the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And I'm really excited. The whole Xenoblade series, once Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition comes out on March 20th, 2025, all the Xenoblade games are going to be on the Switch, and that is exciting. They just announced it out of nowhere that day, very early in the morning. I woke up seeing it. I was like, wait, is this real? Yeah, it is. I'm really glad. And what's funny is that I was listening to Xenoblade Chronicles X music not too long ago, right before this announcement, and it kind of felt it was meant to be in a way. But one thing that nobody has saw coming was what they announced and released yesterday. A Nintendo Music Spotify app. Yeah, that's right. They released their own Spotify app called Nintendo Music. And it's basically Spotify, but just with Nintendo's own catalog of music from various video games throughout the years. And, they even included, the Wii channel music, the Wii Shop channel music and whatnot. But, I've been trying it out for since yesterday. And, it's basically a lot of great hits that they already had. Stuff from Super Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime, Zelda Ocarina of Time, the list just goes on. And they're more catering towards more of the recent releases, or in this case, some of the most highly sought out music in their video games from the NES, Super NES era. I really like that Nintendo made a Spotify for people like me, because I don't have Spotify. I don't listen to much music nowadays. And it's finally given us a legal way to listen to their music on the go. But just like Alarmo, Nintendo Music is kind of tied to NSO, where you need to have an NSO subscription in order to use the app. Which, I feel like that's one thing that I've been seeing common throughout this month, is that they're trying so hard to get people to either subscribe to NSO or come back to NSO. Because I've been seeing that when certain games get made or released, people would use the online subscription for that time, and when that game sort of dies out or gets stale, they will just cancel that subscription entirely. So I'm thinking this is their way of getting people back onto NSO, or more importantly, getting them back onto NSO before they actually announce their successor. So pretty much, what I've been seeing with Nintendo lately is them trying to get NSO back into the mainstream. But in terms of the app itself, I've been using it and I've really been enjoying it. I've been curating a bunch of playlists already for my commutes to work and for a potential trip that's going to happen in the next few weeks. I've been enjoying it, and it's limited right now, but they promised that they're going to add more soundtracks from their games as time goes on. And that's probably bring on one fear that I've been seeing, is that with the NSO games that they've been adding from, the NES, Super NES, and 64 Genesis, it's been more of small drips. And I could see that being a little bit concerning, but I think that concern might be quelled because today they added the soundtrack from Super Mario Bros. Wonder. You probably may be able to see it right here, but yeah, they just added, the focus might be bad, but they added Super Mario Bros. Wonder today. And that's, a little bit telltale that they may be, doing daily releases, or hopefully much more consistent releases than they have been with their NSO games. But, that's kind of different. The NSO games, they tend to require a little bit more attention when it comes to the coding, making sure the emulation works and whatnot. And when it comes to this, it's just basically MP3 files. Nintendo probably has that already made and whatnot. So, yeah. Man, like, this month has been crazy. Not to mention, speaking of NSO, you know, they sent out an email saying that, you know, they're celebrating 3 years of the expansion pack service, and they are teasing something that may come for expansion pack members next year. We don't know what that might be. It could be GameCube emulation for all that I've known. Even though the amount of times we've been asking for GameCube emulation, they have not delivered, and they're more than likely not going to deliver it. But, you know, it makes me more excited to see what Nintendo has coming up. We're in the realm of getting the successor being announced soon. You know, I'm pretty sure that it probably may not get announced until sometime early in 2025. The only other avenue that I could see the Switch successor being announced this year is at the Game Awards, because, you know, Microsoft announced the name and the look of the Xbox Series X at the Game Awards back 5 years ago. So, which was outside of E3 and outside their usual realm of video game announcements. So, I could see the successor being announced at the Game Awards, but if it's not then, it's probably going to be sometime next year. But, you know, Nintendo's October has been quite crazy. But let me know what you think of their announcements. Does this make you excited for certain things? Are you excited for Xenoblade Chronicles X coming to the Switch for once? Are you curious about Alarmo, Nintendo Music, or whatever they're having for NSO? Let me know in the comments. And if you're also excited, make sure you give this a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe and bell icon to get notified of my latest videos. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.